Welcome to the deep dive. We're about to jump into something I think could really shift how you see things, yourself, your life path.
Yeah, we got some fascinating source material today. It really digs into, well, the stories we tell ourselves, and also practical ways to build better habits.
Exactly. Habits not just for, say, making more money, though that's part of it, but for building a genuinely richer life overall.
And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is to really pull out the most impactful insights from this stuff, give you a kind of shortcut to understanding these powerful ideas about change.
And figure out what steps you can actually take, like right now.
Absolutely. So think of us as your guides digging through this.
Okay, let's dive in. The first big idea the material throws at us. It's interesting. It points the finger inward first, not outward.
That's right. It really makes the case that maybe the biggest thing holding us back isn't, bad luck or circumstances. It's the internal script.
The story we have on repeat in our heads about who we are.
The material calls this, your identity is your compass.
Okay, your identity is your compass. Explain that a bit more.
Well, the idea is that this self-story, your identity narrative, doesn't just describe your reality. It actively shapes it, creates it in a way.
Okay, the sources give an example, right? Leo.
Yeah, the story of Leo.
Yeah.
It's quite striking. He basically grew up feeling pretty average. Maybe he heard it from others, maybe he just internalized it, but the message was clear. You're nothing special.
And so his life kind of mirrored that.
Exactly. The material shows his life just played out according to that script. Average job, average relationships, average everything. He was living the story.
Until something clicked.
Until he encountered this core idea. Your identity shapes your destiny. He realized, wait, maybe this average story isn't true. Maybe I've just been trapped by it.
That's powerful. And it leads right to the question for you listening, what story are you telling yourself?
Is it something like, oh, I'm just not good with money? Or I always start things, but, I never finish.
I'm too shy, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, too young.
Right, all those limiting beliefs. And the big insight here, presented so clearly in the sources, is that these aren't facts. They feel like facts, but they're just stories. Old narratives.
It's like an old tape playing.
Exactly. And the material uses this great analogy. You are not a tree. You're not rooted in one spot, unable to change. You can move, you can reshape your identity. It's flexible.
So how do you do that? How do you rewrite it?
It starts with reframing. The sources suggest simple shifts. So instead of, I'm bad with money, try thinking, maybe even saying aloud, I am learning how to manage money well.
Okay, so shifting from a fixed state to a process I always quit becomes...
I follow through more and more, or I'm building my consistency. I'm too shy, could become, I'm finding my voice, I'm learning to express myself. See the difference?
Yeah, it feels more active, more hopeful. So the first concrete action step from this material is...
It's foundational. Write down the old limiting story, get it out of your head and onto paper. Then, consciously, deliberately, write down the new, empowering identity you choose to step into.
Starting the change from the inside out.
Okay, so once you start tweaking that internal story, the next question is, what fuels the action? Because knowing you can change is great, but actually doing it, that takes energy, power.
Right. You need fuel for the journey. This brings us to the second point. Start with your why.
Yes. And I love the metaphor they use here. Your dreams, your goals, they're like a rocket ship. Amazing potential. But your why, that's the fuel. Without strong fuel, that rocket isn't going anywhere.
It's just sitting on the launch pad.
Exactly. And the problem, as the material points out, is if your why is kind of weak or superficial, like, oh, it'd be nice to have more money, your motivation just fizzles out as soon as you hit turbulence.
And there's always turbulence.
Always. There's the story of Sarah in the sources. She wanted to open a bakery. Lovely dream,
That's
rather.
nice.
But every time she faces setback, funding issues, regulations, just feeling exhausted, she'd kind of give up. The dream alone wasn't enough.
So what changed for her?
Her why got supercharged. Her young son started getting bullied. Suddenly, the bakery wasn't just about pastries. It became about building something solid, creating security, showing her son what resilience looks like.
Building a legacy, making him proud.
Precisely. That deep emotional connection became her rocket fuel. It was powerful enough to push through the obstacles.
There's a quote in here from Dean Graziosi related to this.
Yes, start with a clear why, because reasons come before results. It really hammers home that a strong why isn't just logical. It has to be emotional, personal.
The kind of reason that, as the source says, almost makes you cry. that you feel deep down.
That's the kind of fuel that lasts. So the action step here is very direct. Write down your why. Don't just think it, write it. Say it out loud every day. Make it real, visible. Keep reminding yourself why you're doing this.
Okay, so we've shifted the internal story. We've found our powerful why. What's the next common hurdle?
The big one, waiting. Waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect
The
skills.
perfection trap.
Exactly. Which leads to step 3. Progress beats perfection. The material basically calls out perfectionism not as a high standard, but as a kind of myth that paralyzes us.
Right. Because progress, even if it's messy and imperfect, is how things actually get done in the real world.
There's the Tony Robbins quote mentioned that nails this.
Mm-hmm.
Most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Oh, that's good. It speaks to consistency over intensity.
Absolutely. Success isn't usually built in one giant leap. It's built day by day, often with small, imperfect steps. You don't need to read the whole book today, just one page, maybe even just one paragraph.
Don't need to run the marathon first time out, just walk around the block.
Precisely. Don't need the perfect business plan finalized, just make one call, send one email, do one small piece of research.
The source uses that lovely tree metaphor, planting a tree.
Yeah, you water it a little bit each day. You'll give it some care. You don't stand there yelling at the sapling to become a giant oak by tomorrow.
You trust the process of steady growth.
Right. And eventually, with that consistent daily care, you get the shade.
Yeah.
It's about the cumulative effect.
So the message is, let go of needing it to be flawless right now.
Embrace the messy. Focus on just moving forward, even a tiny bit. And the action step is beautifully simple, maybe deceptively so. Take one small action towards your goal today.
Not tomorrow,
No.
not when you feel ready, today.
Today.
Okay, quick recap then. We've got change your inner story, find your powerful emotional why, and take consistent, imperfect action, big internal shifts.
Definitely. And now the sources transition into the more practical daily stuff, the routines that make these bigger ideas stick, starting with the morning.
Yes, the morning routine. This is step 4. Morning routines create momentum.
The material draws a clear contrast here. You know, the typical foggy morning, alarm goes off, grab the phone, start scrolling news or social media, instantly feel reactive, maybe stressed.
Yeah, sounds familiar for many people.
Versus an intentional morning. One where you consciously set the tone for the day. Dean Graziosi is quoted again. Success starts with what you do before 8 a.m.
Before 8 a.m. That's interesting. Does it have to be complicated?
Not at all. That's the beauty of it. The source offers a really simple, doable 10-minute formula. Just 10 minutes.
Okay, break it down.
2 minutes for gratitude. Just think of or write down 3 specific things you're genuinely thankful for, big or small. This shifts your brain from lack to abundance right off the bat.
Okay, 2 minutes gratitude, then
5 minutes for movement. Anything. Stretching, jumping jacks, a quick walk around the block. Just wake up your body, get the blood flowing.
5 minutes movement. What's next?
2 minutes for vision. Close your eyes and actually visualize yourself successfully completing the main thing you want to accomplish today. Feel the feeling of having done it.
2 minutes vision, and the last minute.
1 minute. Write down the single most important task or goal for your day. Just one. Clarity.
10 minutes total. Gratitude, movement, vision, one goal. That seems actually manageable.
Totally. And the point isn't rigid perfection. It's about setting your direction. Like programming your GPS for the day ahead, instead of just letting the day happen to you.
You start the day, it doesn't start you. The action step.
Commit to trying a simple 10-minute routine, maybe starting tomorrow morning. Protect that small window of time.
All right, now building on clearing the path, the sources introduce something called success taxes.
Yeah.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah. Step 5, eliminate success taxes. But don't worry, it's not the IRS.
Okay, good. So what are they?
They're the hidden costs. The silent things that drain your energy, your focus, your time, slowing you down without you even realizing it's happening.
Like hidden friction.
Exactly. The metaphor used is great. Imagine trying to run a race, but you're wearing this heavy backpack full of bricks. You can be super motivated, really trying hard.
But you're just weighed down, slowed down.
Precisely. These success taxes are the bricks.
So what kind of things are these bricks? What are the examples from the material?
Well, procrastination is a big one. That negative self-talk loop that just chips away your confidence, spending time in toxic relationships that just drain you.
Physical clutter, mental clutter.
Both, absolutely. And constant distractions, The phone buzzing, endless social media scrolling, getting sucked into the news cycle for hours. These things feel normal, but they're taxing your potential.
There's a story about someone named Thomas.
Yeah, Tomas felt stuck, working hard, had ideas, wanted to get healthier, but just spinning his wheels. Why? Because every evening he defaulted to hours of mindless TV and junk food. Huge success taxes.
Wasted time, low energy.
Right. His change wasn't some massive overhaul. He just started identifying and removing the bricks. Little things, like phone off 8 p.m., reading one page of a book instead of channel surfing. Asking himself each day, what distracted me today?
And just by removing those drains,
His energy came back, his focus improved, that business idea suddenly got traction. He didn't magically become smarter, he just stopped paying the hidden taxes.
makes sense. You have more resources available. The action.
Be honest with yourself. Sit down, maybe right after this, and list 3 potential success taxes you might be paying right now. Awareness is the first step to removing them.
Okay. From internal taxes to external influences. The sources talk about our surroundings next.
Step 6, control your environment. This is crucial. The metaphor here is the seed.
Right, the seed in the desert versus fertile soil.
Exactly. You are the seed. Your environment, the people, the information, the physical space around you, that's the soil. Plant yourself in nourishing soil, you thrive. Plant yourself in depleted soil, well, it's much harder to grow.
So environment here means more than just your house or office.
Oh yeah, it's definitely who you spend time with. Their mindset, their energy, does it lift you up or pull you down? It's also what you consume. The books, podcasts, shows, news you let into your head.
What nourishes versus what pollutes.
Precisely. And your physical space matters too, of course. Dean Graziosi has another point here.
What's that?
Who you surround yourself with influences your habits, goals, and future more than you realize. It's huge. If your circle is mostly negative or stuck, it takes immense energy to resist that pull.
Whereas if they're growth-minded, supportive.
It becomes contagious. It lifts you. The good news, the material stresses, is you don't need a massive life upheaval. Small upgrades to your environment make a difference.
Like what?
Maybe join an online group focused on a skill you want. Swap out some mindless scrolling time for an inspiring podcast or audiobook. Read just a few pages of a good book each day. Consciously choose inputs that align with where you want to go.
Small, deliberate choices about what and who you let in. The action step.
Find just one tangible way you can upgrade your environment. Maybe the people, the info, or the space today. One small improvement.
Okay, let's quickly recap that batch. We had a purposeful morning routine for momentum, ditching those hidden success taxes, and actively shaping your environment for growth.
Yeah, really practical stuff you can start implementing.
Which leads us right into how to make these positive actions more automatic, building habits that actually last.
Yes. This is step 7. Stack habits, don't force them. This tackles why so many resolutions fail.
Why do they fail so often?
Because we tried to do too much, too soon, relying purely on willpower. Starting Monday, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., meditate 30 minutes, hit the gym for an hour, eat perfectly. It's just not sustainable for most people.
Right. You burn out or miss one day and give up.
Exactly. So Dean Graziosi suggests a much smarter way. Habit stacking.
Habit stacking, what's that involve?
Instead of creating a brand new routine from scratch, which takes a lot of mental energy, you piggyback a new, simple action onto a habit you already do automatically.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Super simple things, like say one positive affirmation while you're brushing your teeth. Or write down your main goal for the day right after you pour your morning coffee.
Or take 3 deep breaths every time you sit down at your computer.
Perfect. You're attaching the new, desired behavior to an existing, ingrained trigger. The source uses an analogy. Go on.
It's like adding a small, easy slip road onto an existing highway, rather than trying to bulldoze a whole new highway through a forest. Much less resistance.
Makes sense. Leverage existing momentum.
Precisely. The guide is simple. Pick an existing habit, like making coffee. Choose a tiny new action, like writing one gratitude. Then link them. After I existing habit, I will new tiny habit.
After I pour my coffee, I will write one thing I'm grateful for.
Exactly. Consistency over intensity. Start tiny, build the chain. The action step. Pick one new tiny habit and decide which existing habit you'll stack it onto. Start tomorrow.
Love that. Okay, next point tackles a huge mental block for so many people, feeling like I'm not ready.
Oh, this is a big one. Step 8. Confidence is grown, not granted. This flips the common belief on its head.
Which belief is that?
The belief that you need to feel confident before you can take action. The material argues, pretty convincingly, that it actually works the other way around. Action builds confidence.
Tell me about Nina's story from the source. Right, Nina. She dreamed of starting a YouTube channel, sharing her passion, but she kept waiting to feel confident enough, waiting to know everything, waiting for the perfect camera.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened until she learned this principle. Courage comes before confidence. She realized she had it backward.
So what did she do?
She just did it. Scared, shaky, feeling totally unprepared. She hit record, her first videos. Probably not amazing, but she put them out there anyway.
And the world didn't end.
The world didn't end. And crucially, by taking that imperfect action despite the fear, she started to build real confidence. Not from waiting, but from doing. As Dean says in the material, start before you're ready. Confidence is built through motion, not waiting.
Like building a muscle.
Exactly like building a muscle. It grows when you push it, especially when you push through that initial discomfort or fear. Playing it safe doesn't build strength.
So for you listening, what's that thing you've been waiting to feel ready for?
Is it speaking up more? Starting that project? Asking for that raise or help? Putting your art out there?
The message here is you don't wait to become ready. You become ready by starting.
The action step follows directly. Identify one bold action. It would be something that scares you a little that you've been putting off, and commit to taking it soon.
Okay. The final major strategy presented in the sources shifts focus outwards, tackling comparison.
Yeah, this is powerful, especially today. Step 9, contribution over comparison. It's so easy now to look at everyone else's curated highlights online and feel less than.
The comparison trap, it steals joy.
Totally. So Dean's teaching here offers a powerful antidote. Shift your focus from what can I get or how do I measure up to how can I serve, how can I contribute?
Interesting. So sustainable success comes from adding value.
That's the argument.
Yeah.
Meaningful success, the kind that lasts and feels good, is built on genuinely helping others, on contribution. It encourages asking questions like, who needs help around me? What value can I offer, even in a small way? How can I make someone's day a tiny bit better today?
The story Jorge illustrates this, right, with his online course.
Yes, Jorge. He had expertise he wanted to package into a course. But instead of just launching it cold, he first spent time in relevant online communities, just helping people, answering questions, sharing tips, offering value freely.
No strings attached.
No strings attached, just pure contribution. And what happened? People started trusting him, seeing him as a go-to resource, asking him for more structured help.
So when he finally mentioned his course...
It wasn't a hard sell. It felt like a natural next step for people who already knew, liked, and trusted him, because he genuinely served them first. The source says it sold out quickly.
Serve first, sell second, give first, ask later.
That's the principle in business, in life. Build trust through contribution. The action step reflects this. Find one person today, help them, offer some value. Expect nothing back, just contribute.
Okay, bringing it all together now. The final step ties everything up.
Step 10, small habits, big life. Uses that great snowball metaphor.
Ah, the snowball rolling down the hill.
Exactly. Starts tiny, almost insignificant. But give it a little push. Let it roll. It picks up more snow, gets bigger, faster, stronger, until it's this huge, unstoppable force.
And that's how success works, according to this material.
That's the idea, and it's not usually one giant event. It's a compounding effect of all these small, positive shifts done consistently, day after day.
That better morning routine we talked about. Strengthening your mindset. Stacking that one tiny habit. Taking one brave action. Offering one kind word or piece of help.
All those little things, they add up, they build momentum, they become that snowball. The core message, especially from Dean running through all this, isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme.
No. What is it about then?
It's about the process. The journey of becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts success and fulfillment. Not just because of the strategies they use, but because of who they are as a result of living these principles.
Becoming the person capable of the results.
You got it.
Okay, fantastic. Let's do a final rapid-fire recap of those key pillars we covered from the sources. Ready?
Let's do it. First, change your inner story, your identity.
Find your deep emotional why, your fuel.
Take imperfect, consistent action. Progress over perfection.
Create a purposeful morning routine. Set your daily direction.
Eliminate those hidden success taxes. Stop the drains.
Control and curate your environment. Surround yourself with growth.
Stack new habits onto existing ones. Make change easier.
Act before you feel ready. Build confidence through doing.
And focus on contribution over comparison. Serve first.
9 powerful steps. And the material leaves you, the listener, with 3 specific challenges to act on.
Yeah, 3 things to really put this into practice. First, pick one new habit to stack onto an existing one. Start tomorrow.
Second, identify one bold action you've been avoiding out of fear. Commit to taking it.
And third, find one person today and help them offer value with no expectation of return.
Because the underlying belief woven through everything we've discussed from these sources is...
That's small steps done consistently every single day.
Yeah,
They genuinely create massive change over time. They really do.
absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We've really unpacked some powerful ideas here about rewriting your story and building habits that truly compound.
It's been great exploring this. And remember, as you reflect on all this,
Your future isn't set in stone. It's not already written. You're the one holding the pen right now.
so the final thought drawn from this material, what small stroke, what tiny action based on everything we've talked about will you add to the page of your life today?